We'll have to give a thank you to our first guest for
first time on this show.
Yeah.
We've talked to him many times during the football show, but guess we'll have to.
You know, it was fun because I thought we were going to miss this week, but
yeah,
I guess not.
Well,
oh, please welcome from the
Breer Report.
The Breer Report. Welcome in to the Breer Report. It's Albert.
Happy Breer 100, boys.
What?
It's not. That doesn't really make.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your career.
Okay, that one was better.
I actually told that guy to send you $100. I just texted him and I said, send the boys 300 Breer bucks.
See, Breer, you know why you're a shithead? Because why didn't you take
You're
credit
just
for
busting my balls, right?
Breer, why didn't you take credit for the $200 one?
I did. I actually said 300 because I see that you have 100 and 200, and I texted both of those people to tell them.
One anyway.
Yeah.
No, you texted me. You're just busting my Breers. You did text me. You say it would mean.
You know, it was fun because I thought we were going to miss this week, but
yeah,
I guess not.
Well,
oh, please welcome from the
Breer Report.
The Breer Report. Welcome in to the Breer Report. It's Albert.
Happy Breer 100, boys.
What?
It's not. That doesn't really make.
Congratulations on your career.
Okay, that one was better.
I actually told that guy to send you $100. I just texted him and I said, send the boys 300 Breer bucks.
See, Breer, you know why you're a shithead? Because why didn't you take
You're
credit
just
for
busting my balls, right?
Breer, why didn't you take credit for the $200 one?
I did. I said 300 because I see that you have 100 and 200, and I texted both of those people to tell them.
You probably texted them, send Garrett and Steve Breer $100, and they didn't know what you were talking about.
Yes, I did, and they laughed very hard. They laughed very hard at that.
Garrett, I just find it very hard to believe that Albert Breer has all these people's phone numbers who he's never met.
What can I say? I majored in friendship. Speech? Did you say for me to make a speech? What? You said speech, right?
Wouldn't it be a breach?
A speech? You wanted me to make a speech, right?
Did you text me you're going to make a breach?
A breach? You're just busting my balls. You told me to come on and make a speech, right? I have one prepared. Prepared.
I hope you get Breer-ended in traffic.
I feel like we didn't send you a text saying you need a speech, but you're going to give us one anyway.
Yeah.
No, you texted me. You're just busting my Breers. You did text me. You say it would mean the world to me as my best friend if you could please come on the show and make a speech. Don't lie.
You got us, Breer.
Well,
you're right. Please.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Tip of the tongue, teeth, and the lips. Garrett and Steve. Congratulations on.
So did you have a breach writer?
Nope. I wrote this myself. Congratulations on 300 episodes. That number really means something. It represents hundreds of hours of preparation, conversations, learning, growing, and showing up even when it would have been easier not to. I've had moments in my career where I hit milestones You can't even imagine the milestones I've hit.
Can you name some?
Like
Yeah.
that. Yep. What that one? Harvard, Ohio State. Like that. And I realized it didn't happen overnight. It happened because I stayed committed to the work. Watching you build this podcast has felt exactly like my fabulous career. But what makes it even more special for me is that you're not only just creators I admire, you're my best friends in the entire world.
Oof.
Truly, the people I trust most, the people I celebrate with, the people I lean on when things are hard.
What? We've never even met you in person, Albert. How are you our best friend in the world?
I have thousands of best friends. I majored in friendship.
And,
The
and
only thing you've
confidence?
ever leaned on for us when things were hard were when we said, go away, we don't want to be your friend. And then you leaned harder on us saying, we're friends, right? We're bonding.
La 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 la. Some of the biggest moments in my career wouldn't have meant as much
You've said
without having you.
6 times already.
Wouldn't have meant as much without having you two at my side to share them with. And seeing you reach this small milestone
Small?
just
Diminishing our milestone.
feels just as meaningful as some of all of the major milestones I've made in my career.
You mentioned
Oh my God. Albert, it sounds like you used AI to write this speech for you.
to write a speech about how good you are.
What are you talking about? I wrote this from the heart about two of my best friends in the entire world. We're bonding, right? You're just busting my breers.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yep, we're bonded.
Didn't mean to
Yeah.
grind your breers.
You grinded my breers, and that's what friends do, right?
Not
We
with
wouldn't
you.
have gotten through 300 episodes if we didn't grind each other's breers every once in a while. Am I right?
Albert, this is the first one you've ever been on. You did not go through 300.
No, silly. That's not true. Don't lie to your audience, or you won't hit as many milestones as I've hit in my career.
Albert, since we have you on today, give us your pick for the Super Bowl.
Oh, those thin-headed eagles.
Wow, okay.
I
The
picked that.
thin-headed Eagles.
Mhm.
I think that's the Seahawks.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
obviously,
what since the coach is my best friend, that's what we call him when we text.
Who's the coach?
Oh, you're silly. His name is Steen.
His name is not Shut Up Steve.
Yes,
Are
it
you
is.
sure?
It's I met Bet Steen. He's my best friend, and we call them a little inside Breer ball. We call them the thin-headed eagles.
Okay, yeah, that's a good name for them. It's a good call. All right.
Did you have any more of your AI generated speech you wanted to read to us about
I
how
wrote
great you
this
are?
from the heart. You've built something people believe in. An audience that shows up week after week because they trust your voices. Like mine, everyone shows up for my voice as well. And trust is everything. It's the same foundation that our friendship is built on. 300 episodes isn't just a number. It's proof of consistency, passion, and real connection like we have in our friendship.
Every sentence, Breers back into you somehow. But this was supposed to be about us, me and Garrett.
It is about you, silly. You're my best friends in the whole entire world, other than my other thousands of friends.
If you had to pick between us, who's your better friend?
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. Oh, which one of you loves me more?
Oh God.
This is a real Breer Fee's choice here.
Voice.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the person that I feel likes me more, and I'm just busting Breers here. I can tell that Steve has a real special connection to me, and really loves the Breer.
Wow.
So I guess
Albert, I've openly told you I don't like you.
that's
I don't
because
even.
you
I've
love.
openly told you we're not friends. We're not bonding. I don't like you.
Oh, that's what you do.
Well, if someone's going to tell us that the thin-headed Eagles are going to win, it's not just Albert Breer, who, by the way, I'm fucking Albert Breer. Please welcome Maximus LOADZZZ, everyone. How are you, Pedro?
Great. How are you?
To quote your father, if I was doing any better, I couldn't stand it, Pete. Look
Yeah.
at the shirt I fucking dug out. Look at that, big brother.
Yeah. What could be better?
We're hanging out. Let me see. Do I want to do this? I think I do want to do this. I like doing this. Hold on. Just fuck with lighting. So, sorry, not sorry. I do apologize for the sound issues at the beginning. While that was going on, I was doing the quick thing I always do, jumping in the shower. And then, of course, not that you people care or would understand, but while that was going on, I had the video I was taking it from. I muted the wrong page. So you couldn't hear, and then fix it, and then we're back. And now
we couldn't breer.
You could. Peter said at the same time as you, Albert, couldn't breer. You couldn't breer properly, and boy,
and then we could barely hear it.
Yeah, that not bad. Then you could barely hear it, and I'm sitting there with jumping in the shower. My breer end is hanging out. Right. Anyone else? Who gave that imposter a wrench? Shout out. So happy fucking Friday. Talk to me, Loads, as we are now. Yesterday, by the way, poor little out. Yesterday was the 30-year anniversary of what my wife asked me. She's like, well, when were the Chargers in the Super Bowl? I'm like, once. They got killed. 31. And I didn't even realize 31 years ago. It was 31 years ago yesterday. January 20, 1995, 94 season, Super Bowl 29 in Miami.
I thought you were talking about when the shuttle blew up.
By the way, more and more, someone sent me the video of like, these guys aren't dead. They didn't even try to hide it. They didn't care. But now the internet is hunting them down, and you can't even look at it. I mean, but by the way, so much to talk about today. So much, Loads. And again, sorry, not sorry that I was enjoying that. I was literally enjoying the Albert Breer thing. And I should point out, I was telling some people, and I'll say it here. I can give you inside dope on Albert Breer. Actually, it's tweeted, but you wouldn't normally see it. I said I used to work with a guy named Kemp Brown. He's a fucking Steelers fan. He's a Notre Dame guy. He worked for NFL Films. He gave me my Charger fucking I have a Charger fucking visor, because they gave one for like a bunch for every team to this place. Like, no one's taking the Chargers one. It was in LA, but he now works for Albert Breer. And last week when I put up something with Breer's like, oh my God, this is hilarious. Someone, Albert Breer tweeted something, and one of our fans, because we're all Albert Breer fans now, retweeted it. And then a whole conversation started. They're like, please interview Keanu or something. And of course I get him. He's like, are you fucking with me? You know, I produce a show. He sent me 3 outtakes of Albert Breer, and I'm going to tell you something. He's not much different from the guy that we interview, because he's just a sweetheart. He's such a, there's a clip of him saying fuck, and it's fantastic. But that's for someone. Maybe I'll put that up as bonus content or something, you know. But such as it is. So you texted me that the sound is back. I better hold on.
Fine.
I guarantee I'm on the wrong sound.
Everything's fine.
No, I'm on the right sound. Yeah, but Pete, sometimes I'm on this sound instead of this sound. But I was never. All it says on your text is sound is back.
So
unless that's old.
What?
So much to cover this week, Peter. I mean, literally, I don't know if you saw what I put in the description of what did I put? I'm like, Tulsi in Georgia, Lemon in jail, ice in Minnesota, Pretti in the ground, Seattle in the Super Bowl, and of course, Ilhan Omar. I mean, what if like? And somebody sent me. Actually, you know who sent it to me? It was just on Fox. Bob Vanna Patrice. Like I compared, and I get to finally do it on my show. I compared Ilhan Omar to 2 different episodes of Columbo, Peter. Now, there's an episode called Candidate for a Crime, where it's season 2 or something, and the guy is fucking his wife's secretary. who's his wife's campaign manager or whatever. He's fucking his wife's secretary, and his campaign manager knows. So his campaign manager says you can't fuck him anymore, and he wants to keep fucking her. So what he does, so the campaign manager doesn't squeal to save his election or whatever, he kills him. And when he kills him, he makes it seem like the mob killed him, and he kept, and then at the end, he acts like the mob's going to kill him, whatever. So basically, he's like, oh, somebody's trying to kill me. But the better one, which again, that's what's going on here, because Ilhan Omar, you cannot convince me, is trying to look like a victim when it's now coming out that her winery, we'll get to that, her winery has not made any money. It's like, oh, we're based in all these other states. And the other great thing that I just saw is, I don't know if you know this about Muslims, Pete, but as fun-loving a group of people as they are, they're not allowed to drink. So you know what I mean? That would, Pete, that would be like you endorsing any condoms that aren't Magnums. There's no reason. You know what I mean? That would be like you promoting queers, as you call them, because you only like chicks. Am I right, Pete? Pete?
Here we go. We go.
Like something that rhymes with Kundun, right, Keanu?
So one, I'd like to address Studs McCorney in the chat, because I have a Dotsie. I have a Dotsie, which is why I have the Dotsie on the glass. Yeah, and we're off. That's what it is. Yeah, I think we're off.
Oh, Pete, let me do the second one that I think's even more amazing. It was one of the later seasons, the actual ones, where this guy, he wants to murder this other chef. So he takes this wine opener that looks like this. Honest to God, it's like injection. He puts poison in it, and the poison injects into a random bottle of wine. The guy has dinner with him. They get into a fight like he plans, and the guy leaves. The murderer leaves, and he leaves the guy with the wine. He drinks it, and he gets poisoned. And Columbo says, tell him to come in to meet with me. And he immediately does. And at the end, he goes, I knew you did it the minute I saw you, because you just had dinner with a man who died of poisoning, and you didn't want to go to the hospital. Now, when Ilhan Omar, stop saying Kundun, when Ilhan Omar gets sprayed with some fucking thing, she's like, no. And they all love cursing now. All the Democrats love cursing now. Like you said, Pete, that Jew guy in PA that's running now said shit. So they all love doing this shit, and they look awful at it. But why didn't she say, what's on me? Because she wanted to look like a hero. And did you believe when she went like this? Yeah. Your thoughts, Loads.
No, I thought the whole thing was a setup. Once you watch it, like, I didn't see it when it happened. They showed the video, and once you watch it, yeah, it's not realistic how it went on. I don't care who you are. If they spray something on you like that, you're going to at least be curious what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're at least going to be like, well, let's see, if I have to get this off me. Turns out, I like the Jesse James in the chat said, Gina's upset because they wasted apple cider vinegar, which is apparently what it turned out to be. So yeah, it's, she's trying to have her moment. Like, I guess the loonies will compare that to Trump getting shot and saying, fight, fight, fight. But that's not her shtick. I don't understand. Like, whoever her advisors are, I don't see how that's helping her. You know what I mean? It's like the people who advised the boy band 5 Seconds of Summer. It didn't help when they changed them to be more pop or whatever, and then they just disappeared. It's bad advice.
Did you really compare it to 5 Seconds of Summer?
Well, I hadn't seen all the Columbos, but I actually went to 5 Seconds of Summer concert at the Garden, so that's what I had. She got very bad advice from her handlers. So it was one of the silliest things. And everybody
Peter,
knows
no,
it.
it's not silly. What I need you to explain to me, big brother, is why are we saying it's silly and not insulting and not fucking not borderline illegal, not fucking criminal? Why are we not saying any of those things? Why are we giving? Is it because it's not? Is it because I'm trying to phrase this properly? Is it because the Republicans or conservative or people with common sense who tend to be conservative, in my opinion, but that's a bold statement and probably a gross overstatement. But is it just that we're like, yeah, we can't even be bothered with this because anyone with a brain will know it's fake, and anyone that's already indoctrinated to the lies of the left cannot be convinced otherwise. So why waste time saying, are you fucking blind? Is that correct?
One, we're not treating it as criminal because it's not criminal to do that.
Yeah, I was asking. I didn't say it was criminal.
Yeah.
Like,
Right, like nobody gives a shit. That's the thing. By the way, I went with my daughter to that concert. Somebody had to take her, but nobody gives a shit. That's why nobody cares. Everybody's like, how many people even saw it? We're acting like people saw it. Like, that's how pathetic it is. They did something to get eyes on this, and everybody who see is like, wow, that's who cares. I don't see any Democrats out there saying, yeah, look at her standing up. Everybody, because they'll be embarrassed. It's an embarrassment. So
yeah. Well, I mean,
but
but it's also
it's nothing. She's nothing. You know,
yeah, but at what point, Big Brother, do we say, well, why would she do? If she's doing it, why would she make it up for sympathy? Is she making it up to get more votes? Because she's ensconced in that position, Peter. There's no way she's getting voted out because we have all the Somalians there. There's no way she's getting voted out. So what does she need more sympathy for? I mean, does she want people to be like, oh, we should listen to this poor victim when she shits on Trump? I mean, because the straightest line for me is what our buddy, what just came out on Fox News today. Did you see this?
What's that?
Here it is.
I guess you're reaching for anything. Like, I don't.
But I mean, look,
think...
it's been exposed that Ilhan Omar's husband's investment firm, which skyrocketed to 30 million, has 0 clients and 0 records of them managing money. They say they do the work in 80 nations operating in. There's no SEC registrations for them as investment advisors. What's going on? This increasingly looks sketchy. Both the winery and his investment firm, they may not exist, and the firm may just be really a name only. It's amazing how people can go into Congress and become these entrepreneurial investing geniuses. See also Nancy Pelosi, where they come in. When they came in, that should say, I'm sure she had under $1,000 of net worth, and her husband didn't have much, and suddenly now they're multimillionaires. Is there a money laundering operation here? Something is not right. Your thoughts, Loads, on that? Because again, that would seem like a reason, much like the guy who wanted to be sympathetic after his campaign manager was killed and everyone would vote for him and like him, Peter. Okay? Why else does she do this? And other than she thinks we're stupid.
I don't know because I don't know because I don't care. I don't pay attention to it. It's all, I'm not, there's too much other important stuff to watch than what Ilhan Omar is doing. That's not even, doesn't even register for me. I saw it, not even one of the top stories. Yes, the fact that her husband's crooked and the winery's crooked and all that, that's the first I'm seeing that. By the way, so he should go to jail for that. That's something that should be investigated by the authorities. You know what I mean? Like, and we'll see what happens. I love anything to deflect the fact that her brother goes ball deep in her garbage patch. Like, yeah, she was trying to create a new net. Whatever she's trying to do, it's silly. It's just, I don't. It's showmanship. It's like, who cares? Like, she has no effect on anything anymore. She's a 0 trying to be a 1. She's trying to be relevant. She's not relevant. Even if she keeps winning, she's not relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody knows what she is.
Well, Peter, when you say she's not relevant, she's relevant to a lot of stuff in Minnesota. She's relevant to a lot of stuff in the what's it called?
I don't think she is. I think the media wants you. I think the media wants you to believe that, but I don't think she is. She's totally irrelevant, and that's why she has to try so hard. I don't think she matters a little bit. Who the hell listens to her? AOC matters more than her. And notice,
I was about to bring up AOC and say, she's like AOC's irrelevant. Although, you know who's. Go on, Peter. Sorry.
AOC is more relevant than her because she could actually maybe do something. Omar has plateaued. She's not gone anywhere else. She can't be a senator. Unless we want to believe that the entire state of Minnesota would vote to put her in the Senate, she can go no higher. She can't be senator. She can't be governor. This is it for her. And she has a little fiefdom there in that stupid little district she represents, and the more you get the illegals out, the less she's going to matter. You see what I'm saying? So eventually, she's going to be gone. How she's even still in there after marrying her brother and everything, she's trying to keep herself relevant when she knows she's done. Yeah. So I don't even, I don't pay attention to it. It was so stupid. And I love to try and show that white guys don't like her. Like, you pick that guy, he's not, that's the representation you get of a white guy. He looked like a homeless guy.
Well, I think they said he'd been in a car accident. He was on a lot of drugs. And I think they kind of played it that way. I mean, that's another thing that makes absolute sense. It's like, oh my God. They're like, look, when you do this, we'll give you a nice chunk of change and you'll be sympathetic because you're on drugs. And don't worry, we'll take care of you or someone else. It's just so, again, it's because they're so used to people believing every stupid thing they do. It's the same thing as the what's on me, Jussie Smollett, when he fucking got, if what he alleged was true, and you're telling me two thugs put a noose on you, you're not ripping that off in terror? You're like, I'm so angry. I can't wait to show the cops. And they're so used to smelling their own bullshit. And people, this is in New Haven, Connecticut. That's the one Van Gogh I've yet to see that I really want to. Anyway, they're so used to, they're like, yeah, Peter, they're Mr. Burns when it's the monorail and he wants all the money instead of he's like, he puts a mustache up and he goes, I'm Mr. Scrub. Yes, that'll do. That's what the Democrats do with these ridiculous lies, with these ridiculous charades.
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
So why are we talking about it? I don't want to give it air. It shouldn't have
and Peter, you ready for this? Why aren't we talking about it? Why aren't people saying this is how stupid the Democrats think you are? And it's another one. It's another one. Anyone that fucking shows up, why'd you vote for Ilhan Omar? That man attacked her. You can't vote anymore. You can't vote anymore.
Nobody. What I'm saying is, everybody.
The monorail put North Haverbrook on the map. Thank you, smartass Alice. Who, by the way, his whole ID on Rumble is I majored in friendship and confidence with a minor in I forget what it was, like a speech writing. I don't know. Anyway, go on, Pete.
Okay, good. I'm glad Bob Fan and Patrice said that. Yeah, it's Gene. I don't have a lot to say about it because.
Thank you.
It's just
was the word I couldn't think of. I kept saying arsenic. Right. Go on, Pete. I'm sorry.
It's just so stupid. It's like when you talk about stupid things like this, you can't help but sound half stupid because there's nothing there. It is from beginning to end a made up whatever the parlance of the day is, fugazi, whatever. Just let's move on. Don't even give her the time of day. Nobody does. I'd rather see. I have on my phone. I'm waiting because they actually have video outside the court where Don Lemon got arrested. So I'm waiting for him to show up and get pump walked or whatever. I mean, that's a better story to me. Ilhan Omar is just garbage. She's not. She's a zero. She is so meaningless, and hopefully won't be in the country much longer anyway. Like,
we're going to talk about fucking Don Lemon. I love that you said that. Again, so fine. Then enough for me, Peter, but you do get how I find this frustrating. I find this correlates with the dumbing down of America. And if you don't get how none of these people like us, they want us living in boxes. And I don't know if you saw the lawsuit that just is being thrown out against Instagram and stuff, how they made sure kids would get addicted to it. And it led to just, it was on Megyn Kelly today. And that's why they got rid of the beauty filters because, it's more of like, don't worry if you think you're ugly, make yourself pretty, stay the fuck home. And it leads to so many developmental problems that you will literally be like, I can't believe that someone tried to kill Ilhan Omar with a syringe of apple cider vinegar. And this is the other thing with the body language. People are losing their common sense because this gets almost back into the stuff I've said about AI. If you don't get that AI is there to, never was it more obvious than this week, to make people second guess their own fucking eyes. When Alex Pretti, who by the way, he's still fucking dead, when they're like playing him off as some kind of hero, worked with other people, he was a nurse, who lost his way. And then two more, a story shows up of a story pops up we talked about last week of how, he had a rib that was broken from a previous ice encounter and then captured on video. You saw it, right, Pete? Of him kicking an ice vehicle. spitting on it, kicking it a second time, breaking the taillight. So immediately the parents are like, you better prove that's our son. And they do. They have to make sure it's not AI. And still, all that did was what, Peter? Do you think everyone on the left believes it wasn't AI, Peter? No. And that's what AI is about, to make you not, because again, Geno's right. Because what was it? The Mandela effect didn't work, because the Mandela effect got called out. I mean, and we talked about that, Pete. Like, let me tell you, Pete, you're a history teacher. Did you think Nelson Mandela died in prison?
No.
But Pete, everyone did. Pete, everyone did.
I don't know why he'd have thought that. I remember when he was released and he got elected and everybody
he got divorced from his wife.
Everybody was showing up with the fingers that they got the vote.
No, they weren't. Everyone was showing up saying, I thought you were dead. I thought you died in prison. And that's what they do. And people are like, oh, yeah. Well, they're like, does Kit Kat have a hyphen in it or not? And I still don't know. And you guess, you're like, it did. Nope, that's the Mandela effect. It's me not giving a fuck effect.
Well, back to the Instagram case, which is actually something.
Please.
Since that Instagram and the internet and all that became the bane of my existence towards the end of my career, because New Jersey was passed such a stupid HIB law, harassment, intimidation, and bullying, that, anything goes, and you're getting phone calls and spending hours investigating that stupidity. But the fact remains, when you would tell somebody, well, just get off Instagram, you can't handle it. Now you're blaming the victim. Okay. Or, don't have your block everybody from your chat. Well, then they hear it from the other kid. Okay. We want our kids to be able to do all this and have no responsibility for it. And you take care of any sort of issue that comes up. No. And if everybody knew, like, I could have told you how bad Instagram was for young girls. It wasn't that difficult. It wasn't that difficult to see what it was doing. You know what I mean? It wasn't a difficult thing when you have these kids who are doing great in school, best kid on their team in sports, in the school play, they sing, but they got all sorts of crazy anxiety because they're still not good enough in some world. And it ain't the real world, because in the real world, they're beyond good enough. So it's this other world on Instagram, or that stupid Kicks was out there, and the other stupid one where the picture's supposed to go away. Snapchat. Like, okay, who the hell needs that? Why would you want the picture to go away?
I had all my black friends on Snapchat so the pictures would go away.
So I don't care if they sue the balls off Instagram and the rest of them. At some point, these people got to get down to either personal responsibility and, hey, we're going to be – I do agree that although we had a rule that when you came into school, you put your cell phone in your locker and you got it at the end of the day. That was the rule. But there were people like, well, what if something happens? Like, what if I got to get in touch with my kid immediately? And I'm like, well, what do you – like what? Well, their grandmother's sick. So get this straight. You want to text your kid at 11 o'clock in math class that your grandmother died, as opposed to calling the school and the main office and saying, hey, could you call my kid down? I need to talk to him. Their grandmother passed away. Then the kid goes down to the office, or guidance, or somewhere, and gets that message in that situation. No, it's much better than walking home. They look, oh, my grandmother died. Stop it. And the same with the people like, well, you got to have it in case there's a school shooter. No, that makes it worse because it jams everything up. There are protocols for that now. Like, there is no reason. And I will say this. I had no problem, on the other hand, if a teacher said, yeah, you can bring your phones in today in art class so you can listen to music while you're doing your work. I had no problem with that either. You know what I mean? Leave it to the teacher, but then the kid would have to turn it off. And by and large, it worked. But now the government, the states are getting involved and saying it's a law. You can't have your phone in class. So now I guess when a kid has their phone out, instead of it being simply, hey, that you got to put your phone away, it's some sort of misdemeanor. Like, does that kid not go to the assistant principal or dean of discipline? That kid goes to their officer now because they broke a law. Like, because that was always a big thing. When a kid did something that may have become worthy of law enforcement, once we turned it over to law enforcement, I couldn't say anything to anybody. Like, parents could call and say, I can't talk to you, got to call the police because they're handling it now. because anything I said could be seen as messing with the investigation. So I don't know where it's going with this, but it's that whole thing with Instagram and all those other stupid things. You know, I'm at, like, it's so obvious. It was so obvious the problems it was causing, especially for adolescent girls, is crazy that nobody, you know, and some boys, but they could tell you what they want because the world wants you to believe there's no difference. Didn't affect boys nearly as much. Not nearly as much. I'll tell you what affected the boys. Fortnite. I've never seen anything like Fortnite. These kids,
baseball players. I think 1 or 2 baseball players had Fortnite injuries because they were playing it so much it fucked up their thumb or their hand.
I've never seen a video game where these kids, they would leave their phone in their locker all day. But as they walked out the door to their bus, they were on and everyone was playing Fortnite. Walking, I mean, they couldn't be off it in the 2 minutes it took to walk to their bus. It was crazy. But you know, so yeah, Instagram, absolutely. But you let the kids go on it. They don't have to be on it. That's what nobody seems to understand. You don't have to be on it. You don't have to be on Snapchat. And you say, well, everybody else is.
It's all they know. In their defense, Peter, you know what I mean? Like I in a way, I'm jealous of them because when I'm on my phone too much, I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like my brain, like I'm like, why don't you read one of those books you used to read? But I was scrolling. Why? But it's the example I always use of the time I used to host trivia, then like fucking 10, 12, 15, whatever, a long time ago. I hosted a kids party, true story. And they're all on their phone looking up there. And so I'm like, don't do that. You're not allowed to use your phone. And they said it like this, Pete, and rightly so. They go, why?
Hey, I just want to.
I'm trying to explain to them because you want to learn to remember stuff. Why? And after a while, you're like, I don't know. I apologize. Pick up your phone. I'm going to go get drunk with your mother. And that means 2 things.
By the way, I want to
go get drunk with your mother and don't call her on that phone.
Hey,
right? Because I'm giving her the old mule.
J-Ham, I often thought that's what schools should do. But would it also suppress, could it be done without affecting internet? Because the schools needed that. Because if it could have, I had suggested that all the time. Like just jam it so the phones don't work in school. And then it wouldn't matter if you had it. And if teachers had to make a call, it would prevent them from doing it in the classroom. They would have to leave the building on their break. So it would alleviate that whole issue. That I often wondered if that could be done. And if it could have been done and they didn't do it. No, but that's the thing, Gabe. Teachers shouldn't be using their phones unless they're on their prep anyway. And when they're on their prep time, they can just step outside, go to their car and do it. Or, I don't know if there was a way to suppress it and not have it suppressed in certain rooms. I don't know how this magic works. You could have left it unsuppressed in like the teacher's room.
By the way, jamming fucks teachers over, though. Those are 3 words Max used a lot when he was in the schools. Jamming fucks teachers. Am I right, Pete?
Since Gene just wants to be stupid, I will.
All the time. Oh, sorry. What's that, Loads? I'm sorry, big brother.
What one of the things I had a question for Dago because he's former law enforcement, right?
Not that I know of, wink, wink, allegedly.
Okay. Well, I just wonder, these people like the ICE officers who are getting jammed up for shooting Goofy Good and Pretti, if they have a case to be made to sue the city of Minneapolis, the mayor, and the governor, because the police are supposed to control the citizens. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be there protecting ICE from this sort of thing happening. And the mayor and the governor told the police not to do that. So because the police...
Didn't Holman come out, and if that's your question to our boy, Holman, didn't he just come out and say there's going to be some changes? By the way, real fast, thank you, Bob, for pointing that out. Jamming phones is against the federal law. Thank you for the $2. EK, Pete once sent a dick pic on Snapchat. It took 8 months for it to go away. Not to be confused with Bob. Thanks for the 5 spot. Bob, who says, Pete, is Fortnite a euphemism for your junk? It took 8 months. Keanu, it took 8. All right, you get it.
All right, first, so at any rate, well, once they, it's a violation of federal law. Well, federal law, I learned, like the First Amendment, that doesn't apply in schools. Because when I asked about this bullying stuff and said, well, what about the kids' right to free speech? And they're like, you don't worry about their right to free speech. Let the lawyers handle that. That was the day I should have said, I'm out, and I didn't. But so federal law, what are you kidding me? If they could suspend the First Amendment, I mean, it's crazy time. It was crazy time.
Now, by the way, if you didn't believe the Snapchat thing, people. Now, if you didn't believe the Snapchat, then I give you this Oscar-nominated documentary. I'm gonna do a little spoiler. Pete, would you like to know what the name of the Oscar-nominated documentary is?
I see Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
No. No. Jeez. No.
A Max Load story. Peaky Blinders, a Max Load story featuring Maxine Loads.
Oh my God. What?
Oh my Petey.
Well, there you have it, folks. By the way, Geno's still a flaming, limp-wristed homosexual.
Loads and ropes. Any questions? Well worth the $1. Well worth the $1. There you go. That is another masterpiece.
You know what? Again, Curtis John, I don't know what to say.
Hold on. I got to pay. I'm trying to concentrate and put it in the folder. All right, go on, Pete. I'm sorry. What?
No, I don't know what to say, but the fact that Gene now has a folder of these things
now, please. It's just
I mean, oh my God. Oh my God. St. Ranger again. Who do you have in the Super Bowl next weekend? Because I know you're a big 49ers fan.
By the way, I wish I saved it. Or did I send it to you? I'm sorry, Pete. Go on.
No, he must be our age because I don't know anybody who writes checks anymore. Checks are gone. Like I don't even have to sign. I can't.
I write my rent check every month. That's the only check. Did I tell you this? And it took me forever. It took me forever when I ran out of checks maybe 6-7 months ago, and my rent was like I almost didn't get it till the end of. I'm like I'm waiting on checks. It was hilarious. And my landlord didn't give a fuck. They're too lazy to throw me out. Kidding.
Yeah, I will say a good use of checks though. You can track everything. Like that is one of the best things about it. It tracks everything.
What's that?
Yeah. Oh, that Gabe is only 34. He's so young. 34. Gabe. I have the same checkbook I got when I was 18. I'm now 34.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. By the way, take a look at this. If you don't get I sent this to you. Take a look. Hopefully you can see this. Now let's step back to appreciate all the dominant QBs the Patriots had to face to get here. You ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Gabriel, Pennick, Fields, Joey Flacco, Tyler Huntley, worth noting. Tell me what's significant about the Geno Smith one, Peter.
I have no idea.
He beat them in week 1. He beat them.
I just think this.
By the way, I'm very happy to say they skipped over Justin Herbert. Thank you. Fucking respect. So again, I don't know how the line is only 4.5. This reminds me of when they played Denver back and when I used to do Ron and Fez, and then Fez, I called him a faggot and he said I wasn't allowed to. And now he's having dinner with fucking Alex Pretti.
I could tell you why it's only 4.5.
Well, Peter, that's something you've never said.
Well, one.
Hey, Gabe,
yeah,
that was a good setup, right, Gabe? Gabe, wasn't that a good setup? Go on, Pete.
no, I see May is held out of practice due to sickness and a shoulder. I think they're all going to be fine. I really do. Like Sam Darnold's been with this stupid oblique thing for 2 weeks. He's been fine. Seattle's left tackle he had foot and hamstring and knee or whatever. I mean, I just think it's all precautionary now, and they're just putting them on the list just so they meet all the league criteria and they can't get jammed up later. Like, well, you knew he had a twinge there and you didn't tell us. But what people are saying, and I haven't watched a lot of New England football. I have not, so I don't know. But I'll say this. Apparently, their 2 interior defensive linemen, Barry Moore and that Milton Williams who they got from the Eagles, are outstanding. And their quarterbacks are outstanding. And their defense overall is really good. And their 2 running backs are good. And May just manages the situation. And they have Diggs.
This is going to be a blowout. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it just –
There's no guarantee.
God forbid, but everything seems to just be falling fucking New England's way to get here. So barring something else falling, they're about to have a very rude wake-up call like Denver did against Seattle when they had a fucking cake schedule and a noodle-armed quarterback, and they're like, hey, welcome to reality. This is the NFC, and it's one of those seasons, if you ask me. Go, big brother.
By the way, I know people don't like to remember this, but Denver came into that game, the Super Bowl where Seattle beat them.
47. I mean, 48. Sorry,
right.
Pete.
It was the number 1 offense in the history of the NFL. In all of the existence of the NFL, that offense was rated number 1. So that's what Seattle's defense put an end to that day. But at any rate, I saw a video, and I should have just sent it to you because it was a guy, I guess, in New England, a New England radio personality or something, and he was talking to these other 2 guys, and the New England guy was saying, well, Seattle's schedule wasn't that hard either. When you take out – wait a minute. He said, when you look at it, if you take out all those teams in the NFC West, they really didn't play a difficult schedule. And the guy's like, oh, so if you take out all the hard teams they played, they didn't play a difficult schedule. And then the guy started. He's like, okay, all right, we'll take out the NFC West. They played the Bucks when they were good. They played Jacksonville, playoff team. They played Houston, playoff team. I didn't realize they played all these good teams. Like, they didn't play many bad teams. The bad team they played was Arizona twice, who's in their division.
And they almost lost to, which is also worth pointing out. It's not just retarded to say the NFC West, but it'd be one thing if it was, the year they played a tough division, like the AFC East, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, if you take out that fucking thing, not only are they playing the NFC West, these are divisional games. So you could be a 2-10 team playing a 10-2 team, and that ain't a gimme. Because it's fucking, what did I say in season 2 of Geno's Picks? A divisional game, when you play a divisional rival, it's like a baby at the Clapton residence. Everything goes out the window. Playing a divisional rival, everything goes out the window like a baby at the Clapton residence.
So
look at Sweet Lou staying on brand.
I know.
He's driving to the clinic because he has STDs. Or maybe it was a pediatrician's.
So
Lou goes to a pediatrician for his STDs to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Pete, let me have that one. It's good, right? By the way, look how much Lou looks like my fucking brother. It's insane. So actually,
if you
know, this might not even. All right, go on, Pete.
If you go up 1 to Kilgore 77 there.
Of course, big brother.
All right, folks. Now we're going to go down the rabbit hole, right down the turlet. So, and this is going to combine the Super Bowl with the crazy.
With the what?
So, with the crazy, Gene, with the crazy.
Oh, I apologize. Go on, big brother.
Do you remember back in 2020 when all this stuff.
I need 2 minutes to get this out of my head, Pete. I need 2 minutes. But watch this. That is one lucky, lucky child. Because loser. All right. All right, Pete, go on.
Well, and here's where. So, anybody in the chat? Because I know we run in the same information circles. I feel like a lot of us. When after the 2020 election, remember all the lawsuits were happening or not happening, and right, all those things were going on, and it was out there in the ether, out there among people that it was all going to come down, and there was going to be an emergency broadcast. Remember, there's going to be an emergency broadcast event where everything is explained and comes out, from lizard people right up through the election being rigged and how they did it. And that emergency broadcast never happened. Do you recall any of this? Waiting for them. So, okay. So, I don't know if Dr. OK, okay, so he's with me, right. All that was supposed to happen, and you kept waiting, and every time there was a pause on the TV, it's like, was this it? So now I just saw, and this man was mentioned here before, I was at lunch with the big fella who was into this, who got me into this, Jesus, and BONUZZZ-LEMON, if you know, you know, if you don't, God bless you. He claims
Who?
BONUZZZ-LEMON.
I thought you said Lawrence Savon. I'm like, I know Lawrence Savon. I wondered if I felt very cool
according to somebody called him Juanito in the chat one day. So at any rate, and this is going to get back to the Super Bowl. So we're talking today because BONUZZZ-LEMON saying all these things are happening. The people have been arrested. They're at Guantanamo.
Guantanamo, go on.
They're at Guantanamo. Some have been killed, and the emergency broadcast is going to happen, right? So we were talking about, well, really, if it's going to, and then it's all out there about how Nazara and Jazeera, which is going to take us back to sound money and gold, and people are going to get their.
I don't remember all this, but go on.
I was in deep. And all the people are going to get their money back. When they go back to a legitimate banking system, etc. So supposedly, this is all. Yeah, Dr. OK is in deep with me. So we were talking so I think if it's going to happen, the best time. Charlie Moore, yes, he's another one who was in on it. So when this is going to happen, if this emergency broadcast happens, I was saying I think the best time for it to possibly happen would be at the 2-minute warning of the first half of the Super Bowl. Because you're going to have, I will tell you why. You're going to have all the football people and all the people who follow football and all the people just watching for commercials, watching at that time. And the people who want to see Bad Bunny are going to start tuning in at that time. So that is when it would happen. That would be the perfect time for it to happen. And you have the emergency broadcast, and you explain, it's because, and this goes into the what happened in Fulton County. They went in and the FBI raided Fulton County. You saw that, and they said that Tulsi Gabbard was there. And
I read this article. Go on.
Right, and people are speculating, well, Tulsi Gabbard was there. She's director of national security. That must mean that this has some sort of international twist to it. And if you go back, and it's happening now. So if you go back, recently it came out that the whole Dominion system and the way to rig elections happened. It started in Venezuela with Chavez and backed by the Cubans.
I'm going to interrupt you right now to give you credit because I was talking to someone about this because they sent me the article. I think it was Dr. OK today. And when they were talking about why they get Maduro, well, he wasn't legally elected. He stole the election. And I said, every time I watched that clip that they was hanging out with me, he's like, how? How'd they steal the election? Because they use Dominion voting machines, but they don't say that. Go on, Peter. Am I correct? Just
Yes,
to give you
you're correct. You are correct.
No, Peter, you're correct, and you commonsensically handed it down to me. Go on, Pete.
So, yeah, like all these things coming together, and then I know Dr. Okay, I know he knows all this now. So, one of the other theories that was out there about the election being stolen was it was done through.
Oh, it was Smart Ass House. Thank you. I fucking because I was looking. Let me apologize and give credit to the entire chat. I wake up to more and more shit on Fridays from all you guys to go over with Pete. And it was Smart Ass. In fact, did I not screenshot you this, Peter? But I think I forwarded. I didn't say Smart Ass House. But
you
I
did.
get stuff from
No,
Dr. K. I get stuff from fucking, of course, Curtis John, Bob Fan of Patrice. Oh, how dare you? Hold on, I'll give you a clang. Jesus Christ, go on. But I love you, smart ass. Go on, Pete. Era.
You throw me off.
While you're doing that, I'll watch this, Pete. While you're doing that, Democratic lawmakers are raising questions. Why doesn't it pop up? Is it me? Democratic lawmakers are raising questions about why Tulsi Gabbard. This is fucking bullshit.
Right. So here's the thing. And you guys remember back in 2020 when this was happening. So sadly for me, or good for me, I retired September 1st, 2019.
Yeah.
That summer, of all things, my daughter was going into her senior year of high school. So she's like, have you read 1984? I'm like, no, I have not. I always wanted to. So on the beach, I read that on the beach that summer. And I'm like, man, then it became real from 2019 through to today. It's crazy. But so since I was retired and I couldn't go to my kids' games or anything because New Jersey was shut down because of COVID.
Gabe, he might disagree with you with that, by the way. Retiring before COVID was the right move because Pete was the VP then. He could have got whatever. Go on, Pete.
But all the things, there was no discipline to be done because there were no kids in school. I also was the AD. There were no sports. You couldn't observe a teacher because they weren't in school. I asked what I would have been doing because I still talk to my secretary once in a while, and she's like, all the new guys, apparently it was a lot of tracking people down over whether they got the shot, or if you remember, if you came down sick, you had to be out of school like a certain amount of days. So you'd be tracking if that kid was actually out the right amount of days. And I'm like, I could have done that standing on my freaking head after all the other crap. And who's going to bitch at you? Nobody's there.
And LOADZZZ is in doubt. He could have done it standing on either head. Am I right, Pete?
So at any rate, what the hell? Oh, so at any rate, I read the case that Texas and 28 other states brought against the 5 states that cheated in the election.
I mean, wasn't that the most amazing lawsuit ever? It's like, we're not bitching about our state. We're bitching about these states taking away the voting integrity of our citizens. And they're like, yeah, you don't have standing, right? Go on.
Yes. And I said that, our cousin is a lawyer. He's a real bona fide practicing lawyer. And that's what I was working for when I was reading this. And I said to him, I said, I taught this stuff. And I believe the Supreme Court, when there's an issue between 2 states, the Supreme Court is a court of original jurisdiction. That is the only court that case can go to. Texas started the suit, right? So I read it. And for them to say, well, Texas can't do this or we're not going to hear this, I'm like, what the hell? And then so at any rate, the case was never heard. So all these people who are like,